think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up. Yeah.
You know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
You get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Gottis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million.
Is they wind up going broke at a certain point, right? First of all, taxes, child support, all that kind of stuff, that promoters, this and that, and then just the way you spend your money. Could be bad investment. You try to do the right thing and wind up with bad investments. You could just spend too much. And the thing is, if you're not the best in the world anymore, but you're one of, let's say, the 50 best in the world at what you do in your weight class, still hard to tell that dude, you can make $100 million. No, don't do that because you're old.
Right.
Why would he not do that?
You know, if you have the right money behind it and the right promotion behind it and the right kind of commercials behind it, you can turn anything or anyone into a star. So it's basically you're just choosing to do what you want to do. So if you want to do Mayweather and Pacquiao, I think it can be done in a way where people are going to be curious enough to watch it. And you guys were just talking about, it's on Netflix. It's not necessarily behind the paywall, aside from unless you don't have a Netflix subscription, but people are going to watch.
Terence Crawford suddenly confronts Floyd Mayweather, questioning the shocking $100 million demand for the Manny Pacquiao fight, hinting that the fortune Floyd once flaunted may now be slipping into a quiet, unsettling financial decline.
He broke the bank, you know, and I don't see him trying to, you know, give the game to the young fighters because he's a promoter now.
Yeah.
So I can't give everybody the game. It's a business at the end of the day. So if they made all this money, you know, on our backs as fighters, and now I'm a promoter, I'm gonna do the same thing that they once was doing, and just say it's just the game of the business.
It's the game.
Max Kellerman explains that fighters pursue money relentlessly because boxing guarantees no long-term stability. Once their careers end, the sport offers almost no safety net, leaving athletes to fend for themselves in a harsh, unforgiving world.
With the 3 fights that's coming up, Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, I think the guy's from Greece or something like that. What do you feel about great champions doing these kind of fights as well, or just these kind of fights that's going on?
You need money.
Damn.
Yeah, when you need money. This is the problem with boxing. You think about financial literacy, right? And you talk about like NFL players or NBA players. There's support systems for those dudes. There's nothing like that for fighters. They got to figure it out all themselves. And if you're a fighter, that means you did not have options.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like basketball or football. If you could, you know, like, by the way, football players couldn't play basketball, or they play basketball. It's a better deal, right? Like, you know, that's if you can, you do. And boxers couldn't do either one of those things, right? They're too small, or they got hurt, whatever it is. And so you're dealing with a section of our world that is unlike.
Tasha K explains that when financial pressure hits, people turn to lawsuits over missing funds, claiming that Floyd Mayweather has now taken legal action against Showtime.
Bills is due, but you done spent everything on stuff you ain't supposed to have, and now you really need something, so you get ready to go to Walmart, right? And you know you got $132 in your bank account, all right? We all done been there, and you know you need food, the light bill due tomorrow, they're gonna cut it off, and you got $132 to your name. And so then you start to search like, well, what happened to the money? You start to go look at your bank account. You start to go, well, you start to get a little bit, well, I could take this rice, the beans, the this, and then when you get up to the counter, you hoping that something else ain't hit your account. That's made it less, because you know it can say 132, but then you got them pending transactions that come in that hit you. That's definitely gonna put you in overdrive. You don't really start blaming or start realizing you broke until money get low, and that's when you go send people to look for where.
Jim Lampley reveals that Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather's comebacks left him disheartened, as iconic champions returning late in their careers often chase money more than legacy.
Manny, or I will understand Manny. You know, does it make me happy? It's not really my business. It's their business.
You called what was still the most successful fight in boxing history, which was Mayweather-Pacquiao. I've never been a part of a build-up like that, where every mainstream outlet that maybe had abandoned boxing over the years came roaring back. I mean, it was massive. And then the fight happens and we don't get what we hoped for. What did you come away from that fight feeling? What did you think of how that whole thing played out?
Well, I want to start this by saying that I like Floyd. And I get along with Floyd. I'm happy for Floyd that he was the first great social media master who demonstrated what the power of social media could be, how an event could be sold on social media.
Jeff Mayweather claims the long-awaited Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2 might have taken place much sooner, hinting at delays that weren't entirely about timing. Now, the bout unfolds under a shadow, looking far less like a clash of legends and far more like a meticulously orchestrated payday, where the drama outside the ring seems as calculated as the punches inside.
I mean, that's a fight that's basically, it's a cash grab for both of them.
You said it's a cash grab. I know he's had
So,
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. If you created a name and you made a name, why not get paid for it?
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. Do you feel that that's what the comeback announcement is as well? Is just kind of like because I know he's suing Showtime for money he thought he thinks he's owed. Is it just kind of like we need an influx of money, you think?
I mean, I don't really know, and I'm not really going to say anything that I don't know. So, I mean, that part I'm not going to even talk about. It's just the fact that, to me, I looked at it, and I seen the same thing that everybody else seen. So, I mean, and I've never talked to him about it, so I can't really give nobody no answer.
Floyd Mayweather, once the untouchable Money Mayweather, now seems ensnared in a dark financial labyrinth. Though his career reportedly raked in over $1 billion, whispers of mounting debts, back taxes, and unpaid bills suggest a man cornered by obligations. Recent clips catch him pushing alcohol with a strained grin, as if every smile masks the weight of looming fiscal pressure. His social media updates and promotional spots paint a portrait of someone wrestling with responsibilities that pierce through the glittering facade of fame and fortune, revealing cracks in the armor of his once untouchable wealth.
He needs it more than wants it, because you see right here, Floyd Mayweather very vocally has never had a drop of alcohol in his fucking life, is out here promoting alcohol. That's how you know this dude's fucking broke as hell and swimming in debt, because he's posting shit like this.
We are back. Money Mayweather and Beluga, we are back. It's a special day, Valentine's Day. Toast to the ones that we love.
Does he not look like he's a hostage right here? Look.
Happy Valentine's Day and cheers.
I look at the look on his face and I can't tell if he's being held at gunpoint while doing this because he owes somebody money, or if he's just looking like that because he's really confused and struggling trying to read the script for this ad. Sorry,
Even as he headlines new exhibition bouts, the real story beneath the lights tells of financial chaos. Lawsuits, unpaid taxes, and a sudden return to the ring at 48 hint that monetary pressure, not strategy, is steering choices once thought deliberate. Side by side with peers like Mike Tyson, who blew through $500 million yet retained tangible assets, Floyd's predicament is baffling. Purported fight purses and endorsements appear massive, yet they've done little to stave off debt. The irony is sharp. A man who once flaunted unimaginable wealth now moves cautiously, leaning on high-profile appearances just to keep afloat. It's a stark lesson that even legendary earnings can crumble under relentless spending and mounting obligations, revealing that fame and fortune are no shields when financial missteps spiral unchecked.
The way Floyd Mayweather gives a about any of that, bro. He's like, you said how much? How much is the check? You said I got to talk for 12 seconds. All I got to say is I'm the voice for them, and y'all are going to give me 15 million? Like that. That's the type of stuff that Floyd Mayweather does. And Conor was calling this out quite a long time ago, even back when they were promoting Mayweather versus McGregor.
Floyd not taking out his own yet? So Floyd got the money, and he got tax problems.
And Conor also called it out right here as well.
And they said, I'm the motherfucker that can't read. Bitch, I do numbers. I make money. You know my middle name. You owe money.
So Conor was on this 10 years ago. I think 2017 was 2016, 2017. So Conor's been on this for.
Tasher K reveals that even when Floyd Mayweather flaunts unimaginable wealth, hidden debts and pending obligations can push anyone to the brink. His story exposes the classic trap: lavish spending while liabilities quietly stack. Years ago, reports claimed he was detained in Dubai until owed sums were settled. A stark reminder that even elite athletes aren't immune to financial snares. Mismanagement by trusted allies, including his manager, saw vast amounts vanish before Floyd could track them, despite his billions. Now, lawsuits and unpaid rent loom, including over $330,000 for a luxury Manhattan apartment, while his daughter was advised to start earning, an unmistakable signal of tightening belts. Behind the glossy public image lies a labyrinth of debts, missed payments, and ongoing disputes, proving that the shine of fortune can be dangerously deceptive, and that even the richest can be ensnared by a web of financial complications they never fully control.
See somebody like Floyd Mayweather, that's the oldest trick in the book, y'all. Y'all know, when y'all see somebody flogging money everywhere, they got this, they got that, they got this. Was it Gervonta Davis? Tank told us 2 years ago that the reason they held Floyd Mayweather, you can put it back on the screen, captive in Dubai is because he had owed them money, and they wouldn't release him until he announced the fight to give them their money back. You know they do that over there in Dubai, right? You ain't going nowhere if you owe a debt. He was trapped over there for almost 2 months, according to Gervonta. They shared the same manager, Al Layman, who collected money in cash because Floyd Mayweather gave him a power of attorney to do so. And so when Floyd went down there and sued Showtime, he's suing Showtime, the company, the network, that publicizes these fights.
Max Kellerman points out that financial struggles plague many fighters because their careers are fleeting and unpredictable. Injuries or size disadvantages can sharply limit earnings, and without strong guidance or support, even the most talented athletes often spiral into money troubles. Taxes, child support, and reckless spending create a perfect storm, while failed investments and lavish lifestyles only deepen the crisis. Even elite fighters can find it impossible to command massive sums, $100 million or more, once their prime fades. Kellerman stresses that this pattern is far from rare. Most fighters eventually confront financial instability despite earlier triumphs, underscoring the vital need for foresight, disciplined planning, and prudent management throughout a boxing career.
End up with bad investments. You could just spend too much. And the thing is, if you're not the best in the world anymore, but you're one of, let's say, the 50 best in the world at what you do in your weight class, still hard to tell that dude you can make $100 million. No, don't do that because you're old.
Right.
Why would he not do that?
Do you think, and when I look at these fights that's coming up, do it take away from boxing for you when you see these fights being announced?
No, not. I mean, what it just demonstrates that boxing has not produced new characters that you know, whose stories people really want to follow. If we were producing those guys, and hopefully we will now with Zuffa, there'd be less interest in the kind of sideshow fights or the senior tour type fights,
right,
because we'd be invested in new characters. We haven't had characters that have captured the public's imagination because people don't know.
Jazz Mather highlights that both fighters embody extraordinary discipline, meticulously maintaining their bodies and relentless training routines. He shares that he works out nearly every day, even playing basketball, and still feels sharp enough to compete at the sport's pinnacle. This showdown also marks the Sphere's debut as a boxing venue, a space once reserved for concerts, and pulling it off demanded flawless timing, the right team, and meticulous coordination. Math underscores the transformative power of a global platform like Netflix, enabling hundreds of millions to witness the fight live while opening unprecedented doors for boxing's exposure and growth worldwide.
He's Sylvan fighter, so him and me, we taking care of our body, and we always work out almost every day and playing basketball like that. So right now, I still can fight. I feel like I'm still young. I mean, yeah. Nothing changed.
Jazz, this event is going to mark the first boxing match at the Sphere. We've been there, we've seen concerts there, but how did this come to be?
This was a lot of work. It took a lot of time. I mean, many tried and many, I wouldn't say failed, but planted seeds. It just took the right time and, you know, having the right team in place to be able to get it done, right? It's really a timing thing and all the right people involved.
Manny Pacquiao's recent comeback reignited Floyd Mayweather's competitive fire, spotlighting the relentless drive and world-class pedigree of two fighters whose careers have defined modern boxing. Mayweather notes that challenges often stem from people putting personal gain above the fighter's goals, with too many intermediaries tangling negotiations and plans. Ahead of Floyd's 49th birthday, Manny extends wishes of health and blessings, a gesture of mutual respect amid mounting preparations. Mayweather-Pacquiao 2 now looms as a historic spectacle, set to unite these legendary icons on an unparalleled Las Vegas stage, promising a clash that fans have waited years to witness.
You know, Manny came out of retirement. He did a return pro fight of last year. Obviously, Floyd sees that. Floyd's very competitive. He wants the same thing. He feels he can come in, he can do the same thing, and you know, why not give it that chance? You know, they're both the best in the game. They're both world renowned, and the sport would not be what it is without them.
I think that's fair to say, given their stature, for sure. Jazz, quickly, I want to ask you the biggest impediment to getting this done, because it sounds like Manny's wanted to have a rematch over these last 11 years. What's been the biggest barrier, the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome?
The biggest barrier would be, I would just say, you know, sometimes there's people in the way that just don't present either the deal the right way, or just are not able to get it closed. A lot of times people will look after themselves rather than look after the fight.
Wade Clemens explains that Floyd Mayweather's recent bouts, from exhibitions with Mike Tyson to the looming clash with Manny Pacquiao, are driven largely by financial necessity. Though hailed as one of the sport's all-time greats, Floyd reportedly faces missing hundreds of millions and years of unpaid taxes, turning these marquee fights into much more than athletic contests. They are lifelines for recovery. Clemens emphasizes that leveraging Floyd's flawless 50-0 record alongside globally recognized stars like Pacquiao guarantees enormous pay-per-view demand and revenue, amplified further by promotional powerhouses like Netflix, making each event a calculated financial strategy as much as a sporting spectacle.